today I have a review and comparison of a couple different bronzing products that I have been using sort of all summer long. I know that it's coming to the end of summer, but I thought I would kind of come on here and talk about them because I have been using them kind of all summer, and I figured that we're kind of in the middle of August, and generally summer for most people runs to at least the middle of September, if not longer, so you still have time to purchase these and test them out. And I know that for me specifically, and I'm sure there's other girls out there, when you are kind of coming to the end of summer and you want to keep that bronze look, you definitely try to wear as much bronzer as you can right until like it kind of just looks weird. So I thought I would come on here and talk about them. I have three products. I have the Bourjois bronzing primer, I have the Chanel Bronze Universel de Chanel, and then I also have the Giorgio Armani Maestro Liquid Summer. So I've had this Bronze Universal by Chanel for a considerable amount of time. This is probably my holy grail bronzer, especially for the summer. I really enjoy this product. It is relatively expensive, but it lasts you quite a long time. It blends out really nicely. It really melts with any kind of foundation if you're wearing foundation, or it melts right in with your skin. I think that this is probably my holy grail. I have a backup of it because I loved it so much, and I know that for a period of time it was a little bit harder to find. So I have a backup of it, and I just really enjoy this product. I go back to it every summer because in the winter I eventually forget about it, and I just really enjoy it. I'm like, damn, why didn't I use it all winter? But it's just a really nice product. It has a really nice consistency. It does have slight shimmer to it, but I never feel like they're really apparent on my face. They kind of just blend out into nothing, and I love that aspect to it. The one that is most similar to it is this Bourjois bronzing primer. I think that it is the most similar to it, and I know that a lot of people sort of compare them as dupes. You can find this in Canada at Shoppers, and I think that in the United States you can order it off of like ASOS or like Amazon or something like that. It is relatively inexpensive compared to the Chanel, although it is still in the $20 mark. I'm not exactly sure how much I paid for it, but it's close to $20. This one is a little bit more of a thinner consistency compared to the Chanel. The Chanel is quite cream, and this is quite almost like a moussey sort of cream texture, so it's a little bit thinner in consistency. It does have a sort of like a cinnamon scent to it. It does say right on the packaging, addictive fragrance. It's like a cinnamony chocolate scent. It kind of just reminds me of going to Cinnabon and having a cinnamon bun. It has that scent to it. I really like this product. It blends out a little bit nicely. It is a little bit different tone to Chanel, which I'll talk about at the end, comparing the tones of all of these, but I feel like it's kind of marketed it as a bronzer, and it glides on in that moussey texture like a bronzer, so you definitely could use it underneath foundation, but generally I use these both on top of foundation, and I just really like both of the consistencies. I think that they're very similar. I think that if you're on a budget and you can't afford the Chanel, or you just don't want to spend that much money on something like the Chanel, you could definitely go for this and get really similar results. And then this summer during the VIB sale, I picked up the Maestro Liquid Summer. This one has SPF. The other two do not have any SPF. This is a liquid formula, so it comes in like a little dropper, and then you pick up some product and you put it in. This one is a lot more pigmented than the other two. I know that this one comes in multiple shades now. I purchased it before it came in multiple shades, so I think I just have the medium one, but I believe that now they have a lighter version as well as a darker version, so you can sort of customize it based on your skin tone. But I think that this one is really nice. It's a really nice consistency. It's really liquidy, so it's really nice if you want to blend it with a foundation. So if you have a foundation that's a little bit too light for you, you could blend a drop of this in with it, or if you just freshly blended your foundation and you kind of just wanted to blend this into the high parts, it really blends in really nicely because it is that liquid formula. But it's really pigmented, so the first time I ever used it, I was like, I'm gonna put so many drops on my face and really just blend it in, and I was like really bronzed, like crazy, like Oompa Loompa bronzed. So just keep that in mind. This one does have a little bit of shimmer in it. This shimmer is a little bit apparent once you blend it out onto your face, so keep that in mind. If you don't like shimmer, then definitely don't go for it. It's not like crazy flecks of shimmer. It's like a little dotting of shimmer that kind of adds a luminosity to it, but just keep it in mind when you are purchasing that. So to go over the tones and sort of the different products, the first one I have here on the top here is Chanel. It's more of like a neutral tone bronzer. It still is quite bronzy and quite like a little bit orange undertone, but it's quite neutral. In the middle I have the Bourjois, which is a little bit more orange tone than the Chanel, and it almost reads a little bit lighter than the the Chanel. They are quite similar. I don't think you would see any difference when you're applying them on your face because you are blending them out. I have more of a stronger swatch here, but it's a little bit lighter and a little bit more orange tone. And then on the bottom here, I have the Armani. You can see that compared to the other two, the Armani one is a little bit deeper and also quite more pigmented. This is just one dot of the product and I blended it out, and you can see that it's definitely more apparent than the other two. It is a little bit more neutral tone than the Bourjois and even more than the Chanel, but it is still quite bronze. And now that I've blended it out onto my hand, I can see a lot of shimmer in it. So just keep that in mind. I said that the Chanel does have a little bit of shimmer in it, and I really only see that once I blended it out, and it kind of just dissipates into nothing. It's almost like during the process of blending it out, you can see a little bit of shimmer, but once it's fully blended, it's not really there. And even with the swatch, you can't see any shimmer in it at all, but definitely with the Armani one, you can see a considerable amount of shimmer. Overall, I really do enjoy these products. As I said, the Chanel one is definitely my holy grail. I would compare them to some of the new drugstore products that have come out, like the Maybelline BB Bronze as well as the NYC Bronzer that I've recently done a video on. I think that they are all quite similar. I just think that they all are different consistencies. If you're looking for something that is going to bronze your skin and you are under a budget, I would probably go for the Bourjois, or even revisit the video that I have done on the BB Bronzes, because I think that those are really good drugstore alternatives to these. But overall, I would really recommend the Chanel. I think the Chanel is my all-time favorite. The Armani is a really nice new addition to my collection. I'm really happy I have it, but I definitely reach for the Chanel more. And I think that if I were to be mixing a foundation to be a deeper shade, I would use something like this, but if I'm looking for more of like a bronze dewiness to my skin, I would definitely go for the Chanel. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you've tried any of these, definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I would love to try out other bronzing products, so if you have recommendations, definitely let me know as well. Make sure you subscribe so you can see all my upcoming videos, and thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned.